You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chilson, and this is my review for The Holdovers. Now, before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. The Holdovers is a 2023 comedic drama from director Alexander Payne. The film follows a curmudgeonly old instructor at a New England boarding school who has to remain on campus throughout the Christmas break to babysit a handful of students with nowhere to go. He soon forms an unlikely bond with a smart but troubled student and the school's head cook as she struggles through the holidays after losing her son. The film stars Paul Giamatti, Dominic Sessa, and Davina Joy Randolph with Carrie Preston. Now, Alexander Payne is an interesting filmmaker because he has a very specific tone to his films that, like The Holdovers, even when he isn't the main screenwriter, his films always ring true to the Alexander Payne atmosphere, sensibilities, and style. However, that style has been missing a lot more frequently than it used to in recent years. And the trailers for this film left me a bit underwhelmed, if I'm being honest. So while I'm always ready for an Alexander Payne film, the Holdovers kept me at arm's distance heading into tonight's screening. But fortunately, Payne is back in top form because I actually loved the Holdovers. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, let's just kick it off with Alexander Payne himself because he is on his A game. This feels like a throwback Alexander Payne film with this really kind of biting comedy, this really amazing screenplay from David Hemmingson that matches beautifully with that tone of an Alexander Payne film. Their collaborative effort here is phenomenal and the results pay off. This is probably one of my favorite screenplays of 2023. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it's authentic and real in its depictions of a lot of these issues. And although I do think it gets a little bit convoluted, which we'll talk about here soon, it's just such an entertaining and deep script that hit a chord with me. Couple that with two particularly amazing performances. Now, I think Dominic Sessa is fine, but this is definitely the Paul Giamatti and Davina Joy Randolph show. Giamatti delivers the best performance I have seen from him in years. He is fantastic in this film. Everything he's able to accomplish with this character is so wonderful. And along with the script that's written for the character, Giamatti's portrayal of him takes you on this amazing self-discovery journey with this teacher that was touching, but once again, realistic. Paul Giamatti is at times hilarious here. He is very unlikable here, but also quite endearing and understated, but also quite endearing and understandable. Is a wonderful performance. And then we have Davina Joy Randolph, who is a little bit more of a supporting character, but someone I didn't actually anticipate to have as much screen time as she has, and she uses it all to perfection. At the end of the, she's basically the heart of this film in so many ways, even though she is a bit disconnected from the student teacher aspect that takes up the heart of the film. It's her presence that really drives forward the emotional heartbeat. Like Giamatti, she delivers really funny lines. She's very fun in the film, but also quietly heartbreaking, even when it's not the center of the topic. Her sadness, her sorrow over her son looms large in every single scene she gives. Even when she's happy and smiling, her performance is so layered. You can just feel all of the emotions she's going through at all times. And this serves as a great holiday movie because it is ultimately kind of a feel good movie, but it's not a cookie cutter film good movie. It's an Alexander Payne feel good movie. Much more in line with his films like Sideways or The Descendant. You have a lot more complexity here. You have complex characters, a lot more darker tones, a lot more anger or angst throughout, but the heart is always still at the center of it all. So where we end up in some of the big story beats feel paint by the numbers, it's all the nuances and all the discussions and exchanges throughout that elevate this beyond just your general feel good Netflix drama. So then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to the holdovers? Well, since I mentioned it earlier, let's kick things off with the over convoluted plot points. As we start to learn more and more about all of these individual characters, it's like an onion. You keep peeling back and understanding new layers to particularly the teacher and the main student. Unfortunately, I think they just take both characters maybe one step too far. They give them one too many past trauma or past incident in these revelations as we get to know them. And it's kind of like, okay, that's fine, you know. So it all starts to feel a little bit muddied in the center of this film. And that also, in turn, makes the center of this film drag just a tad too long. The film does clock in at over 2 hours long, and I think it utilizes that runtime well for the most part. However, that second act, like a lot of second acts, unfortunately does run long. My only other real complaint with the holdovers is the editing. I just felt it was abrupt. There was no real style, there was no real continuity or flow to the editing. We just kind of like faded to the next scene. And actually, it felt kind of premature in its cut quite often, where you feel we could have one more sentence with this character. We need just another minute with them to kind of conclude what this scene is. And instead, we're just fading into the next sequence without any sort of rhythm or flow, honestly. So the editing was definitely clunky for me. But overall, I really enjoyed the holdovers. As I said, this is a type of feel good movie that is executed so well. It's a great watch for the full family as we enter into the various winter holiday season. It's funny, it's heartwarming. The script is so witty and intelligent. I just had a really good time with the holdovers. So once it hits theaters this November, make sure to give the holdovers a chance. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with this one. So that is my review for the holdovers. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see the holdovers, or have you already checked it out? Let me know all of your thoughts, either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.